Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the S.O.B Sportscast, Talking S. As always, I'm Manny.
I'm Nick.
Thank you for the continued support on our channel. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, and we got a great show for you.
Alrighty, y'all. We're 3 weeks into the NFL season right now. And as of right now, let's look into it. Pretenders and contenders, Manny. Who's a pretender? Who's a contender for you?
My pretender has to be the Arizona Cardinals for one simple reason. Kyler Murray. Yes, Kyler Murray.
What?
I mean, the man only has 4 passing touchdowns. Granted, he has 4 rushing touchdowns, but he has 4, was it 3? How many interceptions? They're right in my notes. I have 5 interceptions. Sorry, I gave him more credit than I should have.
2 of which weren't his fault. You're going based on the numbers alone. We're a 2-1 team that's playing far above expectations right now, and Kyler Murray's playing out of his mind in terms. He has a below-average offensive line. Let's just be completely real here. He does have DeAndre Hopkins and an above-average receiving core with Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk. But to call Kyler Murray overrated or the Cardinals a pretender because of that makes absolutely no sense to me. Moving on for me. My personal pretender right now, I'm easily going to say this, the Bears. Sorry, producer Christian, I know you love them, but the Chicago Bears. Unstable quarterback situation. Of course, everyone knows what's going on with Mitchell Trubisky. Now they just replaced him with Nick Foles. Nick Foles came in and won the game. They shouldn't have even beaten the Lions. DeAndre Swift dropped a touchdown on 3rd and goal. That should have been a touchdown. They should have lost to the Lions. Let's look at their offensive line. Their offensive line has played very sloppy. Their quarterback's always under duress. They don't know the offensive identity that they want to run as well. And then looking at their secondary is far inconsistent. Switching up off Vic Fangio, I'm sure you guys are missing him at this moment. But for pretenders for me, it's easily the Chicago Bears. For my contender, the Buffalo Bills. It's not even a question. If you remember from episode 2 of Talking S, you remember me saying for the AFC East that I believe the Buffalo Bills were going to be the best team in the AFC East, which they are. Joshua Allen's playing out of his mind right now. 33 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions in the last 14 games. Get out of here. Now he has Stefan Diggs. He has Cole Beasley. He has John Brown.
Complete receiving core.
Awesome tight end room with Croft and Dawson Nix. And they have a top 4 defense in the league. And, of course, my favorite safety tandem in Poyer and Micah Hyde. So, what about your contender?
My contender is going to be a pretty obvious one at this point. The Pittsburgh Steelers. They have the number 1 rated defense, along with a healthy Ben Roethlisberger. The defense alone has 15 sacks and 8 takeaways so far, and have only allowed a combined 58 points in the last 3 games.
What's the combined record of all their wins?
0-9.
So, the Arizona Cardinals, who beat the San Francisco 49ers, are his pretender. Let me get this right. But the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers, who beat up on opponents that are combined 0-9, are his contender? Y'all in the comments tell us how that makes sense. You guys know we broke down all divisions in the NFL. AFC, NFC, North, East, West, and South. So we're going to do something a little different now. Top 5 breaking down of positions. It's my personal favorite thing to do. I love breaking down and ranking positions. So this week, we're going to stop with top 5 cornerbacks. Manny, who are your top 5 cornerbacks?
Well, some of them are obvious. Some of them are really. And then we have one kind of a shocker, but not really. He's just undervalued. Let's see. My number 1 corner is going to be the obvious choice, Stefan Gilmore.
Yes, sir. He's only really had 2 bad games in the last 2 years. Against Devontae Parker, he had a really bad game last year, and against DK Metcalf this year. That was a disaster. But Russell Wilson chucking you the ball is the best quarterback in the league right now, hands down.
Hands down. And then my second corner is going to be Marcus Peters of the Baltimore Ravens. Since he got traded to the Baltimore Ravens last year, they became the number 1 defense.
Yes, sir.
And then my number 3, Tre'Davious White of the Buffalo Bills. Man got paid for good reason. He's a great shutdown corner. Very young, very athletic. And my number 4 is going to be Jair Alexander of the Green Bay Packers.
That's your really pick, I'm sure.
The next guy's going to be my really pick.
Okay.
And my next guy is going to be Denzel Ward of the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, that is a really pick for sure.
I mean, it has the word Browns in it, and they have a really good player.
My boy Marshall's going to be jumping out of seat for that one. He's like, Ohio. With that being said, I personally have Stefan Gilmore as the number 2 cornerback in the NFL. I think he's true, he's awesome, but he also has a great secondary cast around him. He has the McCourty brothers around him, which helps a lot. So he's my number 2. My number 1 cornerback is your number 3 cornerback, Tre'Davious White. A true pure man-to-man cornerback, of course, and he's looking great under that McDermott system. My number 3 cornerback is your number 2 cornerback, Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters is an absolute ball hawk. He's always around the ball, and he definitely changes the face of any defense he's on. When he played with Kansas City, he was more of a boom or bust cornerback. He either led up a touchdown or he had a touchdown in his own in terms of returning picks. Now, number 4 cornerback, Casey Hayward from the Los Angeles Chargers.
Very underrated.
It's hard to get used to the Los Angeles Chargers. But Casey Hayward, very underrated. Now he's a true slot outside cornerback with Chris Harris. Now with Chris Harris playing in the slot, So for him being a true number 1 cornerback, Casey Hayward's been killing it since he's been in Green Bay. And for my number 5 cornerback, it's not a homer pick. It just is what it is. Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson hasn't allowed a single touchdown this year in his 3 games, and as of last year, he only allowed 2 touchdowns. Patrick Peterson is getting more on the older age side of it, but he's still a true number 1 man-to-man corner. Honorable mention cornerback, Richard Sherman. I feel like Richard Sherman went through those years where he was known as the greatest cornerback in the NFL.
No argument.
And over the last 3 or 4 years, I feel like people have really forgotten how great he is. Richard Sherman truly is a number 1 cornerback. He truly is a top 10 cornerback, and he's a certified Hall of Famer.
Oh, no, I'm not going to argue with the Hall of Famer part. The only reason he got lost in the shuffle is because he's on such a great defense.
Yeah, that's a good point. He is on a great defense, but when he comes back from injury, I guarantee it changes that defense as of now because of all the injuries they've suffered. Alrighty, y'all, flipping from cornerbacks to receivers. Stardom and sit-ems. Who you looking at your sit-em? Who you looking at your stardom and receiver, man?
See, my looking at sit-em at receiver is going to be a pretty surprise name, but the way the season's going, not that big surprise. Julio Jones. Not because he's not a beast, it's because of that lingering hamstring issue, and I think he might be a game-time decision once again. And my stardom at receiver is going to be Matthew Stafford's favorite target, Kenny Galladay.
He absolutely killed it last week against the Cardinals.
He always kills it.
Especially against the Cardinals. Lost me a 9-team parlay because of him. And my starter and sit him at the guys that throw the receivers the ball. Quarterback, Jared Goff against the New York Giants. New York Giants are essentially playing with practice squad cornerbacks at this point. The only really big name at cornerback they have is James Bradbury. Their best safety is Jabril Peppers, who's more of a box safety. And their defensive line doesn't get much push. I think it's pretty easy stardom if you're looking at Jared Goff, who always puts up big numbers under Sean McVay's system. Looking at the sit-ems, Carson Wentz. Most disappointing quarterback in the NFL by far this season. It's almost Jalen Hurts time if we're talking about anything being serious.
Oh, really?
Even with the San Francisco 49ers' decimated defense, if Carson Wentz doesn't put on at least a subpar performance, I see Jalen Hurts coming in. Start him, sit him looking at quarterback, looking to sit him at Carson Wentz, looking to start him with Jared Goff.
All right, and then for my stardom at tight end, I'm going to go Tyler Higbee.
Hey, how about it?
Right?
Going right off my quarterback.
Oh, sure am. Especially off that terrible New York Giants defense.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude, and then off the play action. He's going to get his points off the play action.
Tyler Higbee's been a real red zone threat this year. What about your sit-em?
My sit-em at tight end is going to be a pretty shocker. Right now it's going to be Hunter Henry. He's playing a dynamic duel of linebackers in Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, Levante David and Devin White, they're a great defensive coordination, and they're under Todd Bowles' system, and Todd Bowles really knows how to lock down those tight ends, which kind of sucks for me because Hunter Henry is my starter at tight end. So looking at it as well, start him, sit him at running back. I believe Kenyon Drake's due for a great game finally. He's playing against a weak Carolina Panthers defense who are really looking for their identity right now. Kenyon Drake hasn't had that big bust game yet. I think Kenyon Drake's really due for that game. If I sit him, James Conner. I think James Conner is going to play a really tough Titans defense. Titans defense have only allowed one game to an over an 80-yard rusher, and that was to James Robinson against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that was a shootout of a game. They both scored over 30 points plus. So looking at it right now, my sit-em would be James Conner. My start-em would definitely be Kenyon Drake. Look on the lookout for them, y'all. Oh, in terms of defense, start either the Broncos or the Jets. They're playing against each other. You're going to get a W regardless on that one. You're going to get 20 points either way, I promise you.
But anyways, you're playing Adam Gaines defense, go for the other team.
Do it. Alrighty, y'all. Looking into the boys on ice. My man.
I'm really bad at picking hockey teams, aren't I?
Yeah, but the fact you call them boys on ice when they're grown-ass men still will bother me to the day I die.
They can kick my ass in a heartbeat. I'm just going to leave it
Actually. So the winner of the Stanley Cup has been decided, y'all. The Lightning had beat the Dallas Stars in a series 4-2. It was pretty much a washing. Yeah, Victor Hedman. He was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner, which for you who don't know, that is the MVP of the Stanley Cup. He had 10 goals and 11 assists all playoffs. Absolutely killed it. He only has the third most goals of any defensive man in NHL playoff history. He's the first defensive man to play in the MVP since 2015. And on top of that, he's only the 10th defensive man in history to win the whole thing. So shout out to Victor Hedman. Shout out to the Lightning.
All right, Nick, it's our favorite time of the year.
Khabib and Gaethje fighting?
No, for fuck's sakes, we're over this. It is MLB Playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. 16-team playoff bracket. I'm really excited about that, actually. Let's jump right into it. The NL Central. They have 4 of 5 teams that have made the playoffs this year. 4 of 5, 80%. You have the Brewers, the Cubs, the Reds, and the Cards. Shout out to producer Christian. He loves the Chicago Cubs, but we're not talking about them right now. We're going to talk about the series I'm most excited for. The Atlanta Braves versus the Cincinnati Reds.
Ooh,
You have the Cincinnati Reds. They're leading the MLB in on-base percentage. They're also leading the MLB in doubles right now. They have Nicholas Castellanos and Eugenio Suarez at a hot bat. But let's talk about the hottest bat of the game, the Atlanta Braves, Marcel Ozuna. Marcel Ozuna was damn near so close to winning the Triple Crown. This is going to be a fun series for it, and it's going to be a hot-at-bat series. So look for a lot of high-flying home runs. What you thinking, brother?
See, I'm just going to do the same thing I did with hockey. I'm going to focus on one specific team. Yes. Just let me be, damn it. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays. They're the team I'm looking out for the most.
Okay.
They're the second best team in the MLB this year, right?
Okay.
They have a really good away record, which is 20-11, and they have a great home record at 20-9.
Okay.
So I trust them to be consistent in the Texas bubble, right?
Yeah, that's fair to be consistent home and on the road.
And currently they're playing a series against the Blue Jays right now. I mean, today they won 0-1.
Okay, so that's a very winnable series, too. And look, it just must be a great time to be living in Tampa Bay. You have the Lightning that just won the Stanley Cup. You have Tom Brady.
Tom fucking Brady.
And now you guys are going to have an awesome series. How about it? Tampa Bay, shout out to y'all. Florida, fuck y'all. Except for you, Gardner Minshew. We fucking love you to death, brother. Much love to you.
Please forgive us, our Messiah, before we have cursed your name.
We love you.
All right, so we're going to have some fun with the NBA.
Well, it's fun for us, but not so fun for someone that lost their job like Doc Rivers. But that's what we're talking about right now. Doc Rivers. What are some coaching positions you can see him filling?
Well, see, Doc Rivers is a made man, so he can take any job. He's going to be offered any job he wants.
That's a good
Let's see, is he going to go rebuilding or is he going to go established team? Because I'm predicting he's going to go to the 76ers and get Joel Embiid's fat ass in shape. That's what he's going to do.
That was a bold claim, my friend. I like him to go to the Pelicans. Hear me out on this. When he went to Orlando, when he went to Boston, even when he went to Los Angeles, he had an established team, a lot of veterans and a lot of stars. He has a chance to really build there with the Pelicans. The only established veterans he has is Drew Holiday and J.J. Redick, and neither of them are filling up the seats with tickets. Let's be honest here. So looking at it, you have Zion Williamson, you have Brandon Ingram, and you have a young nucleus with Lonzo Ball. I would love to see Doc Rivers go to the Pelicans. That'd be absolutely incredible. He can build a young team, maybe take a year or two to really build them up to be a great team, get a few draft picks, maybe a few trades. Then they could be an established team after that.
And get Zion Williamson's fat ass in the gym.
I can agree with that one. All right, y'all, just a real quick recap of UFC 253. I appreciate anyone that watched it. Let me break it down for him. I told you guys Kai Kara France versus Brandon Royval was going to be a fucking banger, and that fight was absolutely insane. I said that Brandon Royval has to use his dirty jiu-jitsu, and look at all the transitions he caused to finally catch him in the guillotine. Brandon Royval won that, and he also won Performance of the Night bonus. Jan Blachowicz, I told y'all he was going to knock out Dominic Reyes. I told y'all he was going to knock out Dominic Reyes. Told you to go put your underdog money there. He was a 3-1 underdog at one point, and Jan Blachowicz knocked him out in the second round. I predicted a 4th round knockout. Second round, I'm okay with. There wasn't a moment there that Dom Reyes seemed in control of that fight. And the thing is Dom Reyes is more of a plains fighter. He fights on different planes, moves and cut angles. Jan Blachowicz is a very linear, straightforward fighter. Jan Blachowicz kept him exactly in his range, didn't give him a chance to cut him off whatsoever. Jan Blachowicz absolutely looked dominant. Let's talk about the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. Now, I said that fight would have been a 1st or 2nd round finish by Paulo Costa, or it'd be Izzy going into the 4th or 5th round. I personally put my betting money on Bovada on Israel Adesanya, but I also put it on him in a 4th round knockout. Israel Adesanya went out there, absolutely outworked and outclassed Paulo Costa. There was not a second that he was in danger there. He overthrew a kick, Paulo Costa threw a crazy swing, and he ducked and dodged out. Every time he got his back foot on the line, he kept switching to southpaw, so he kept himself in some sort of ducking motion to move out of the way. Israel Adesanya is a master classman. I see him dominating that 185-pound division for quite some time. Is he the next Anderson Silva? Maybe, maybe not. But I'll tell you right now, as of right now, he's the 2nd greatest middleweight of all time to me. And I mean that. Look at his resume. Yoel Romero, Derek Brunson, Brad Tavares, Marvin Vettori, Kelvin Gastelum, Fight of the Year, Robert Whittaker, and now Paulo Costa. The man's the greatest. Alrighty, y'all. So as always, thank you guys for joining us on another edition of the S.O.B Sports Report Talking S. As always, that's Manny. I'm Nick. Go smash that like button. Go smash that subscribe button. Share it to all your homies. Dislike if you don't like it. If you don't like it, fuck you.
Fuck yeah.
Throw the quarterback. Fuck, I'm sorry I messed up your take. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
shit.
My bad, Christian. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
I messed up your take. Fuck. I talk about the biggest fucking fantasy bullshit. No one in my fucking league, week 1, scored more than 230 points, right? This motherfucker scores 278 points on me. All right, whatever. I go to week 3. No one in my league is yet to score over 270 points like that, maybe around 280. I get a fucking 307 points put on my ass. Like, what the fuck? And there's nothing I can do about it because I scored over 200 points this week. And against him, I would have beaten 4 people in the fucking league. It's like, dog, I can't catch a fucking break.
He gave up after 3 games.
I deleted my fantasy app. I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm done with it. I'm not happy about it, bro.